That ain't me. Who doing that?
Y'all can hear that?
Yeah, I heard that.
Oh damn! All right,
No,
all right,
I was
bet,
vibing
bet,
with it. I was
bet.
vibing with
Nah,
it.
nah, all
Question.
right,
I
bet,
thought
bet,
that
bet.
was like the
I
intro.
thought
I'm
it was
Like, bring
hey,
it back.
hey, at
You got
least I
so I
know.
was like, hold on, let me go ahead and figure out. I could probably play a little music to myself over here. You know what I'm saying? I thought it was to
I,
myself. I mean,
no,
like,
I
okay,
was.
my
We was
shit.
all like, okay, I'm with it. Like, I usually cut the first couple minutes of the show out anyway because it's just us talking and stuff, getting people in here, getting people in chat. Botrix to join my channel. Marvel Rivals. I am not playing Marvel Rivals. Um, is it slash or is it exclamation point? Game change. Yeah, that's my game. Change game. And talk show slash talk show and podcast or the podcast and talk show. I don't know. Where's my laptop at? I tried to do 100% from this, but I'm just going to
Damn, where cat at when you need her?
right. Like Cat be on it. Cat be on it. All right, so we're officially recording, but like I said, I always cut this part out. Let people file in. We are now live on Twitch and YouTube. Who are you? Who are we without struggle? Okay, so I do have that. It's just not. It just doesn't set the game. Okay. 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 Now it changed. All right. There we go. All right. Welcome back, everybody, to the Cooldown Den. Tonight, we're stepping into a conversation that cuts to the bone. Every hero has a battle, every story has a struggle. But what happens when the fight is over? Who are we when survival mode is no longer our identity? That's the question that we're unpacking tonight. Okay. Who am I without the struggle? And I'm not having this conversation alone. Tonight we have a really big panel. I'm joined by three powerful voices at the moment, who each bring their own perspective. We have my homegirl Tati. How you doing? There. We got the boy Jay Mello. You guys have seen him before. He's back again. And we
Hey
have
you.
we got the lovely Miss Crypto GF. Make sure y'all go follow everybody on Twitch, man. So we're just gonna get into the first question, man. We're gonna dive first question, man. Before we get into that though, together we're going to dive deep into healing, identity, and freedom of rewriting your story beyond the pain. So lock in, lean close, and because this is gonna be raw, real, and unforgettable. Okay. So first question is, as soon as I can find it, 'cause I think I closed it. I closed my questions on accident. Why'd I do that? No, I did this right here. Okay. So when you think about the struggles that shaped you as a person, what's the first story that you have that comes to mind, or the first thing that pops in your head when you think about your struggles, or just how you really started your life? Crypto, you can go first.
Okay. I guess I would say the
Mm-mm.
first thing that comes to mind is I guess so I had gone to school and kind of plotted out my life as if I was going to be a lawyer, and I pretty much did everything in my life for that. I graduated high school at 16. I went off to college straight that same year. I ended up actually leaving and going to study to be a paralegal to get my paralegal certification because I wanted to work in a law firm before I got my bachelor's. And then in California, they have a thing where it's like work-based learning. So I basically only had to work in a law firm for 4 years and I could take the bar exam from there. So I didn't actually have to go all the way through law school to become an attorney. And one day I just kind of, I mean, and that being said, law does pay the bills. Law opened up a lot of doors for me. I was able to do a lot of things for myself, just to make myself happy. I don't really spend frivolously or anything like that, but I got myself a Maserati at 21 years old. You know, I mean, it was easy, honestly. But one day I just really got over the fact that it was like in law, especially because I'm not just some person that's 45 plus and just sits at a desk all day. I call it business fashionable. And so I would wear heels and I would wear dresses to work. And in a male environment, I was definitely taken advantage of, for the sole purpose of just being more attractive. And I got over it. And so one day I was just over law and I was over the environment and I was watching Ratatouille because it's one of my favorite
W
movies.
movie. W
And
movie.
yeah. And I just decided, you know what? I want to make this. Like, I want to do this. I want a life more colorful than contracts. And I just decided to apply to school. I must have been, God, I'm 27 now. I must have been like 22, 23 at the time. And I just decided to go back to school. Like I'm forever a learner, so I didn't really mind at all. And then fast forward to now, I have a bachelor's degree in 3D animation. It has opened up so many doors for me as far as the creativity that I've been able to express in and of myself. Like, I don't obviously make as much money, but then I think the doors that opened up because of what I did, it actually, like, when I feel that when you give up control of your life and just do the things you want to do, it actually will always end up working in your favor. And I
For
ended
real.
up,
For real.
because my legal experience kind of, a job opened up at my school to where it basically ended up, long story short, pivoting me to become the registrar of the school. So I not only can be a part of something that almost like pivots the next generation of creatives, but I also get to merge my legal experience and my understanding of confidentiality and like all these things that like really merge well with being a registrar. And that being said, you know, it was all because that day I sat there and watched Ratatouille and I said, fuck it, you know? So,
Just gotta say, fuck it. Even rats can do great things. You know what I'm saying?
right,
So,
right.
simple as
Anyone
that.
can cook, you know?
Anyone can cook. Now, not everybody can cook well. I'm glad they didn't say that part. But Tati, well, I'm gonna ask you same question here. So, when you think about the struggles that shaped you, with who you are today, what's the first story
Mhm.
that comes to mind?
Um, Struggling with not loving myself. Um, I really feel like that was a big part of me. I never was comfortable or loving myself because in today's society, I had to be shit like a Coke bottle. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Or I
Mm-hmm.
felt like big girls didn't deserve love or my hair. And it was always me being negative on myself. But you know how she said Ratatouille, right? I watched Beauty and the Beast, and you know how he's the beast, and he still pulled a baddie. So
Oh
as me
Lord.
being a big girl, I just still get me a baddie. So I was
Hey,
having that in my
hey, worse in reverse.
But
I
for
get it. Worse in reverse.
real,
yeah,
There's somebody out there for everyone. I promise you.
right. But I'm just now starting to love myself, doing self care. Just saying that hey, I'm beautiful. I don't have to be like everybody else.
Mm.
So that was one thing.
Okay. That hey, and that's that. Not only is that one thing, that is something that's very important. You got to be able to love yourself.
Yes.
You got to be able to love yourself 100%. So, Jay, same thing with you, man. Same thing. So when you think about struggles that may have shaped you to who you are today, man, what's the first story that comes to your head?
Uh, First story that comes to my head is being ripped away from my mother at an early age. So far as I don't remember how old I was. I think I was like 4, maybe 5. But she had a real bad drug addiction, so they took me and threw me into my father's house. Well, my donor. They took me and threw me with him, and it was terrible. It was terrible. So, but luckily, mom went ahead and got her shit together within, I would say, me personally, I felt like less than a year. I don't know exactly the timeline, but I felt like less than a year. I was back with my mom and never left again. And after that, she like, she made my life. She made my life so great that I've never felt like we was poor or we didn't have it until I met my BM. And then I was like, oh, this is what it really looked like. This is what it really felt like to actually have it and not worry about, what I'm saying, the things that the everyday that you gotta worry about. But I believe that shaped me as who I am today when it comes to how I move and how I view life. Because one thing for sure, two things for certain: sun gonna rise, sun gonna set. That day gonna end. So good or bad, that day ends.
100%. It definitely is.
Yeah.
And like you said, you don't know that it's a big deal until you know it's a big deal. One of the quotes that came to mind when you just said that was something Steve Harvey said was, "You don't know you want to fly first class until you walk past first class and you
Mm-hmm.
see what you're actually missing. At that point, you're like, you know what? I think I want better. You don't know. I know, and I say you, I'm talking about just anybody, right? A lot of people don't
Mm-hmm.
know that they want better in life until they see somebody else with better in life, or they get a taste of better in life. I know, like for my mama, we grew up in a very poor family. We still have a very poor family to this day. But my mother was blessed because every summer she got to go and ride horses and do equestrian stuff and all that, and got to get away from the lifestyle for a summer. And just because of that, that shaped her mindset into thinking, I don't want to be in this environment. This environment is not good. I want to be over there with the horses. I want to be
Mm-hmm.
over there. I just want to be in a place where it's nice, calm. You know, I'm. Thank you so much. Yeah. Whether I'm, you're feeding the horses, I just want better. And so, just knowing that you want better for yourself is something that's very important. I think so. Everyone should always be striving to want better. So that actually leads me to my next point, Jay. I'm gonna go back to you, man. So did you know that your BM had better and that made you strive for better? Did you ever did that struggle that you ever came up with ever become part of your identity, like something that you carried like a badge, when you felt like this is just who I am because of how I was raised?
No, I'm one that's always down for change, but the change has to make sense to me in order for me to want to change and look into changing. So you can't tell me, oh, I have to change. You can't tell me I have to change my morals without giving me an explanation that's going to make sense to me. So for the most part, no, I don't think it really had much to do with that.
I feel that. I feel that. Tati, same thing with you. Like, did you ever like you said, you went through a lot of things with your weight and or feeling like your weight meant something when really it doesn't. Just a whole bunch of different stuff. Did you ever wear that badge while you're going through that time? Or do you feel like you started to think that way because of the struggles you went through?
Um, I'm gonna go back. I didn't have a father figure. My dad wasn't in my life, so the relationship that I was in, I felt like as a bigger woman, I had to do more for a man to stay. As far as going beyond by like taking them out, um, doing extra stuff for them, and I wore that badge, but I took it off and I put a cape on because I realized that I'm I love myself. I'm
Mm-hmm.
beautiful. It
Mm-hmm.
doesn't matter what size I am.
Nope.
So it's really important. I see it in today's like TikTok, everything. where women is feeling down about themselves, or women, it's like women versus women, and it shouldn't never be like that. We as women, we don't really focus on ourselves. We focus on what the other woman has, or how does she look, and everything else. So it's always important to just focus on you and just love yourself. And if you want to change something about yourself, don't change it for a person. Change it because you want to change it for yourself. If that makes sense.
No, it does. It makes it make
Yeah.
to me it makes perfect sense because I ain't gonna lie. I had to learn the same lesson. I had to learn the same lesson. You should never try to make changes to try to fit to someone else's box. Because at the end of the day,
Mhm.
that box wasn't made for you. What the box is made for you, you'll be able to slide into very easily. You know.
Yes.
Um. So yeah. So crypto. You know, the last thing with you, like same thing. The struggles you went through. With not knowing where industry you wanted to go in or where you wanted to go. Did you ever feel like that was just who you are? Like you never did you ever feel like you just didn't know what you're gonna do?
Um, I think that when in times like in desperate times like that, where I think that you're struggling a lot with identity and with just the consequences of life. I personally, I just throw caution to the wind most times, and I just think that you at the end of the day in this life we only have one life, and you really should
Sure.
be only doing what makes you
Mhm.
happy. And if for any reason something doesn't make you happy, you are fully, it doesn't matter if you're 50, 60, you can, or beyond, you can completely pivot and do what you want. And so and I go off signs a lot. So that being that, with me being in such a low point with myself and kind of just watching Ratatouille and just having that conversation with myself to be like, there's no reason you can't make this. There's no reason that you cannot take a few years, because at the end of the day, the time is still going to go by, you
Mm-hmm.
know? And like, would you rather do what you want to do or just something else within the same amount of time? So I think that's just kind of what gets me through, is like asking myself the question of what do you want to do if whatever isn't working, you know?
Very true. Very true. And that actually that leads me to a moment that I learned and I heard from E.T. I don't know if you guys ever heard of E.T. the hip hop preacher. I don't know if you ever heard of him. But a saying he used to say, well, not this saying, but yes, that's a good point there. Nirvana, thank you so much for that. It's a good comment. The sun will rise and set again 100%. But a saying E.T. used to say all the time was, you gonna cry regardless. You gonna be in pain regardless. You already sad. You already hurt. So why stop? Get a reward from it. You gonna cry. You gonna cry to give up, or you gonna cry to keep going. You gonna
Yeah.
cry, so just get a reward from it. You're gonna pain regardless, so get a reward from it. The being in pain for no reason is stupid. It's just stupid. Since you don't have choice to not be in pain, you might as well just be in pain for a good reason, right? Be in pain for a good reason. Be cry for a good reason. Do what you do for a good reason. Make sure you get a reward out of anything you do. So not letting the pain define you or anything like that. So with thinking about that, that leads me to my next question. Um, for some people, struggle can become motivation. Okay, for others, it feels like a prison. Which one has that been for you, Tati? We're gonna go with you first. Has struggle for you been more of a motivation or has it been more of a prison?
It's been more of a motivation for me. I cannot explain it. I have been in bad, toxic relationships, and every time I go through certain bad relationships, it motivates me to have better, and it shows me what I don't need in a partner. Um, it was when they got upset, they will call me names, or say, "Oh, I could be with this person, that person," and it just kind of showed me that I deserve better, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
What I did was, and I'm just recently divorced too, so yay, gotta have a
Shout out
better
to you.
marriage.
Shout out to you.
um, it's just it could be either or, but for me, it was more of freedom because now I know what I want in a person, and also what I want for myself as a whole.
Mm-hmm. And that's good. Knowing what you want is definitely that is definitely something you need. You need to know what you want because at the end of the day,
Yes.
you gonna be your own worst enemy or best friend depending on who you are. Um, for you, crypto, was it more of a motivational factor or was it more like your own personal prison for that time of period for that struggle you were in?
I'm like Tati. I definitely think that it was a motivation for me, and a lot of those struggles showed me. I think there's lessons in everything, and so a lot of those struggles definitely showed me things that I do not want. And I think it was like years ago that I don't know where I even saw it from, but it was like, you say that you're having the worst day of your life until a year later and the next worst day of your life happens. Like it's not always as bad as it seems. And
Mm-hmm.
it's only like that for the present time.
All
And,
right.
just if you have to take things like second by second, if you have to, like, do that, and I think for that reason, like, I think the most recent for me, just because, like, Tati, I am recently out of, like, almost a marriage. It was like a 5-year relationship that was an engagement, and it ended. And I think that from that was my biggest lesson so far, in that it's like I always want things with a person, and I think I owe it to myself for the first time in my life to see what I can do for me and just me, you
Yeah.
know? So,
And that's beautiful. That's beautiful. You gotta be first and foremost. I remember him. That was nice. He was cool. He was cool, but not cool at the same time. We ain't gonna talk about that.
Hmm.
Different story. Uh, she knows crypto. Know what I'm talking about. She know what I'm
yeah.
talking about.
Yeah.
Jay, so Jay, man, for you, man, did you ever wear your like? Did your struggles ever motivate you to become better, or did it cripple you? No, did it cripple you for that season? Not like overall to this day, but like for that season, do you feel crippled by your struggles at that time?
Um. All right. So I'm gonna say struggles are crippling, and I will say that I'm one to let it actually cripple me. Right now, hear me out. I believe therapy is for everybody. I think everybody actually should seek therapy. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? Regardless of what you feel you may or may not gone through. Man, I ain't gonna lie to you. Our culture has gone through the absolute most. So I believe everybody, no matter how big or small, how old, how young, I do believe everybody should seek therapy, right? So
Mhm.
boom. With that being said, I think that I let things cripple me because of the simple fact that I play mind games in my head with myself, like often. Like, I'll tell you this: Mondays are my worst days of the week, right? It's like, oh, I just got off a 2 days off. I got to go back to a job that I'm not really caring about. I'm just showing up, going through the motions, and paying my bills, right? So, in a sense, I believe people call that surviving, and just being constantly on autopilot. It's like Mondays I'm in my head. I'm scheming on how the hell I'm about to get out of this job. So I'm thinking about content, I'm thinking about streams, I'm thinking about um the viral moment I want to have happen, which I know because I want it to happen,
It
that
will.
moment it won't happen. But it's like
Mm.
that's where the mind game comes in because it's like, all right, bet I'm gonna go ahead and say I want this type of viral moment, but in the actual back of my head, I'm thinking this is the type of viral moment that's 9 times out of 10 gonna happen. So constantly in my head, this is me all Monday. Every Monday, I'm just constantly thinking and playing mind games. So it puts me in a puts me in like a weird space. So when it comes to me dealing with my friends or me dealing with coworkers or supervisors, whatever, it's like my energy and my vibe is off. I'm more quiet on Mondays because again, I'm sitting there planning for my future. So in a sense, that motivates me to go ahead and actually plan for my future. I was always told that if you want to make God laugh, you tell him, your future plans, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that man I believe he been laughing at me for the last 4 years.
Just
I think
laughing.
I probably might be his favorite comedian by this point. You feel me? But and with it all coming back into like fruition, it's like you just gotta count the blessings that you do have every day and thinking that you have what you have right now and not worry about what you don't have and what you're planning on getting whenever he puts you into position to get those things.
Mm-hmm.
So I know my day will come. The only thing that I can do is continue to be more consistent than what I ever been when it comes to posting and being the streamer Jay and being the off stream Jay, be more consistent in the areas I feel like I need to improve in.
I feel that. I feel that. And I'm about to use one of your quotes here, Jay. And something that I've been working on to not be, and I know you're in the same phase as me. We're trying to not be consistently inconsistent, and that's one of Jay's old sayings. And I'm like, bro, and that just describes me to a T. Consistently inconsistent. I consistently do not show up when I'm supposed to. I
Mm-hmm.
consistently and it's so for anybody who doesn't know what that means, that's what that means. Like I consistently let myself down or just whatever, right? So now I'm working on consistently being consistent, right? Um I want to answer that question myself because I'm gonna be honest. I feel like my struggles have been through a lot. Coming from a family who really don't got a lot. We don't got a lot of financial money. So for a lot of times there's no parachute if I make a mistake. I know for a lot of people, if you make a mistake, there's a parachute there. Whether it's your parents, grandparents, a family friend, a lot of people have a parachute. What cripples me, and I think a lot of time what cripples me with my struggles, which is financial, it could be weight, it could be whatever, is it is crippling to me. Um, because in the back of my head, I'm like, yo, if I fail, this this is a 3 year get back. This is a 2 year get back. Like if I fuck up today, I'm off for the next 6 7 months, and that's crippling to me. It makes me not want to make decisions because it's like it's not like some people if they mess up, okay, well my Tuesday's ruined. No, if I mess up, my next 3 months is ruined. Like and so and that's how I used to think for a very long time. It was like I can't fuck up, I can't fuck up, I can't fuck up, and and then when you compound that with being a man, it really because as a man, if you fuck up, now you just less of a man. And now I can't get no pussy. Like now it's so it's like so it makes it makes it that much worse because it's just like you are when you like it's just terrible. Like not having no money, not having your own spot, being overweight, and then on top of that, you're trying to make stuff shake. You're trying to make stuff happen. Then you're not consistent in stuff you do. It's just it's a whole lot. And because I'm an overthinker, I think about a lot. I'm my own worst enemy sometimes, and so the struggles what I go through can be crippling for me because I think about yesterday. You go, you fucking up. You ain't work out today. You ain't go for your walk today. Uh, you ain't do what you was late to work. That's gonna come back to bite you in the ass. Like it's just a whole bunch of different stuff that can be crippling. Lately, and when I say lately, I mean since starting this podcast 4 weeks ago. Like this has been the past month. I've been making sure that I am consistently consistent. My Sundays have been Sunday at 2 p.m. for the last 3 weeks. And I think having that on a schedule has been good for me. Jay, I feel the same way. I feel the same way about having 2 days back to back. I was just talking crypto about I don't have 2 days off back to back. I have today, I work tomorrow, and then I'm off Tuesday. So I don't have 2 days back to back. But I think that's a blessing in disguise because for me, that makes it to where I don't have time to well, I guess I put it this way: when people have 2 days back to back, We already know that first day you ain't doing shit. That first day you're just sleeping, you laying in bed, you're not doing nothing, you're not doing anything at all. And then the next day you might go and do some stuff fun, whatever, or vice versa. Basically, one of those 2 days you're not doing anything. One of those 2 days you're completely resting. With me, it's like the way I think about it now is I don't have time to rest. I've been resting for 30 years. I'm 30 years old. The way I've been telling myself is I've been resting for 30 years. Whether it's been my weight, whether it's been like I'm not where I want to be. And the only way to do that, I have to work. So yeah, I have my 9 to 5 job that pays the bills, that sustains me, that's keeping me sustained. But if I want to get past this point, like Jay said, if I want to get past survival mode, if I want to get to be somewhere to where I can go trips, I can, I can take girls on nice dates, I can wear nice clothes, I can do what I want to do. That requires more work. Okay. The job is going to get me to the wall, but the work I do past that is going to break me through the wall so where I can get where I need to go. And so that's where, yeah, it's Sunday and I'm off today and I can be asleep all damn day. But no, I decided I'm going to do a podcast. Which really ain't a freaking one day thing. Look, y'all can attest. I've been hitting y'all up all week. I've been doing this all week. I created a schedule for today's episode 3 weeks ago. So really, it's just planning with how to make sure I do a little bit every day, just to make sure every single day. And I think that is very necessary to keep me focused to remember you can't afford days off. You can't afford days off if you want to be great, at least. If you want to just be an average motherfucker, okay, you can have a day off. Average people have days off. But if you want to be great, or if you want to just be good, or like if you want to just be something to where you're the best version of yourself, you can't really afford a day off. You can afford to ease up a little bit, but you can never afford to just hit stop. So that's my little 2 cents on that question right there. But since we're talking about, go ahead.
Your real test hasn't came yet. It's gonna come soon, but it ain't came yet.
I know, and I feel like that's the reason why I'm preparing now. So that way, because my dad used to always tell me there's no such thing as luck. There's no such thing as luck. It's just preparation and opportunity. So that's why I'm preparing myself now. So from when that challenge, that struggle, that opportunity comes, I can knock it out the park. And I feel like that's where a lot of, cause I'm actually glad you said that, Jake. I feel like that's where a lot of struggle comes from, whether it's especially in the Black community. It's the fact that we weren't prepared for it. I think a lot of times when for instance, I talk to people at work every single day, right? I talk to people at my job. And the reason why a lot of people have deposits is because they're just not good with money. And I'm not good with money. And so now I start putting myself in my customer's shoes that I talk to every day. And I say, okay, if I was applying for Just Energy and I got a deposit, why would I have a deposit? And I started looking at these customers and I've started to see a trend. Okay, most people tell you, I'm at the point now, I know if a person's going to have a deposit in the first 30 seconds of the call. Off rip. Because there's a mindset. People start asking preemptive questions. Hey, how you doing? You call Just Energy. Okay, cool. I just want to see I would love to go with you guys' energy, but I just want to see if it's a deposit first. You're already thinking you're not going to be good enough to not have a deposit. Now the deposit screen is 5 minutes away from now, but I already know you're going to have a deposit because how you started the conversation, because that's the badge of struggle that they wear. And I started to realize I do the same thing. I try to preemptively prepare whoever I'm talking to, whoever I'm dealing with something that may come up in the back end. The test they're going to see, because at the end of the day, it's going to come out. It's going to come out. What happens is dark's going to come to light. People are going to find out sooner or later. So you try to get ahead of it, right? Telling girls I mess with, and I'm an overthinker. First day I'm an overthinker. That lets her know first off gate. Well, I can't be telling him everything. He gonna overthink some shit. That ain't good. No, you can't do that. You can't do that. You have to fix your own self, get yourself together, and be prepared for when the opportunity does come. Whether it's with a beautiful woman, a beautiful man, or both. Shit, I don't know. Whatever y'all like to do. I know thruples is a thing now. Whether it's a nice job, just prepare yourself so that way when the time does come, you'll have a zero deposit. You'll be able to not have to worry about a deposit. Because another thing I've learned, my customers that have a zero deposit, they expect it. when there's some customer when I say they got a deposit, they get mad at me. Like, I have a deposit? They start saying I got an 800 credit score, like, like, and I feel like that's how it should be. Like, you should be so powerful within yourself to where when struggle does come up, you like, hold on, that ain't Stu. Hold on, Stu been cooking, Stu been good, crypto been good, Jay been good. That is no longer Jay. That is no longer Tati. I don't get deposits no more. I've worked hard to not have to get deposits. So something wrong with your system. Now, even though that's not how it is. But I'm just saying that the point still stands, right? Yeah. We have to make sure we're working hard enough to where there's no deposit on life. And I'm just using deposit as a word for struggle right now. But I think that was just, motivational.
So let me ask you this. Mm-hmm. How are you going to prepare for me headbutting you the first Sunday that your podcast get canceled and you don't have anywhere to go? You don't have nowhere physically to leave the house and go, but you not feeling it today, Jay. So how you gonna prepare for me to fly down there and headbutt you? Tell me how you gonna prepare that.
I'm gonna prepare for it by making sure I'm prepared to not have a podcast. And I'm gonna say no, that was just bullshit I was made up. To be honest with you, but no, the way I'm gonna prepare for that is to make sure I always have a podcast. I'm gonna make sure I stay consistent with it because not only. Okay, I'm gonna put it this way.
I'm gonna say this. Rescheduling is okay.
Rescheduling is definitely okay.
Rescheduling is okay, but to not have one within what you normally do Sundays and Tuesdays.
And I'm about to cut down to just Sundays. Gonna be honest, that Tuesday be cook my ass. I'm just gonna be just Sundays.
Okay, bet, cool. So. The rescheduling from your Sunday to your Tuesday is cool, but not to have one in that week is not cool.
I feel that.
That's where that's where I'm gonna be. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be one of those mad customers that I got a deposit. I'm gonna be a mad viewer that there ain't no big Cooldown Den podcast.
I love that. You gotta have somebody in your corner keeping you accountable. Yeah. Shout out to Vibes in chat because Vibes, you must have knew I was about to say something about you because now you in chat. Because I'm gonna be honest, chat is Vibes been the most consistent streamer, almost the most consistent person in my life for the last year and a half. And so, when I think consistency, I think of Vibes. Every single day, 8 a.m. like clockwork. I want to be to the point to where, I miss watching her streams. Come on in, run. I want to be to the point to where people can count on me the way I count on Vibes. To where my body now wakes up at 7:55 because I know Vibes is live at 8. Like, I want to be that consistent to the point to where nobody questions me, right? I want to be to the point to where this podcast every Sunday, 2 p.m. Guess what? I got to hurry to get to YouTube, man. Stu about to have a podcast. And that only comes from consistency, right? And that comes from making sure myself is accountable. Same thing with you, Crypto. I'm pretty sure there's a goal that you want to reach to where, like, every single week or every single month, every single year, whatever, you want to have a movie put out. If y'all don't know, Crypto working on a movie right now. Because it ain't done yet. But just know that I'll be getting a little leaks. Make sure y'all get that. But no, it's definitely good. It's definitely good. So I think the biggest thing is we got I'm speaking on myself. I want to be consistent. That helps get away from the struggle, right? I think struggle only happens when lackadaisical habits start to come because you're not planning for things. I think struggle only happens because there was no planning there. There was no what if. There was no backup plan. There was no planning for it. I think if something happens, a struggle happens and you plan for it, it's not really a struggle. It's just a inconvenience. Inconvenience is okay. But struggles, I don't want to go through struggles ever again. I'm cool with inconveniences, but I don't want to ever go through a struggle ever again. So that brings me to the next question. If I'm gonna say just like the person on Instagram, if the struggle no longer defines you, Jay, I'm gonna let you go first. If the struggle no longer defines you, what story about yourself would you want to tell instead?
So me creating my own narrative about myself. Hmm. That's new. Um, if I was able to do that, I would say the coolest, consistent streamer that anybody knows would probably be at the top of that list. Outside of, well, no, I'm already consistent with that. Damn, that's it. Honestly, that's it. Because that's really the only thing that I could think of that I'm real like real bad when it comes to consistency is actually content and streaming. Like, so I would believe that I would want my narrative to turn into he's the coolest damn streamer and content creator out there.
Like more cool than Castanet and all them? Like you trying to be like that type of big, or you just more like just a
Well, our
vibe?
content ain't the same, but I'm just talking about
No,
within
not at
along
all.
with with like even when it comes to like Call of Duty, when it comes to that game, I'm not comp, so it's not like I'm trying to be the coolest comp player. It's literally just a cool ass streamer content creator. So I would say who's cool? Kinston, he's cool. He's real cool. She carries. She's pretty cool.
Cool as hell.
Tommy, she's awesome. All Go Queen, awesome. It's a lot. It's a lot that I could think of within our community. I'll give you a whole list of cool streamers, and I'd love to be one of those like pillars of the community to be like, oh yeah, that's Jay. He's a real cool ass, down to earth, dope ass streamer.
For sure.
You know?
For sure. For sure. So crypto, and if struggle never defined you, or struggle, let me just read the whole thing. I'm trying to reword shit. I've already come up with questions. Let me just if the struggle no longer defines you, what story about yourself would you want to tell instead?
Mm, I think, you know what? I mean, I don't know if I would actually ever. Like, I don't necessarily believe that struggle has to define you, and because, like you said, struggle, I think, comes from being unprepared. Because I
Hmm.
do think in life, quote unquote, bad things will happen or sad things will happen. And it's not necessarily that you have to struggle because of it. Like, struggle does not have to mean what it means in the literal sense, in that sense, but it's more like, I think with that, something I learned in film, like they really teach you the way of visual storytelling, and one of the like kind of rubrics for it is called the hero's journey, and it basically takes you through the life of a hero, and it starts out with them kind of almost like they are trying, like they have to answer the call that like somebody is trying to get them to go for what they want, but they don't believe in themselves enough.
Right.
And so I think that like the story I'd tell about myself is just one of a hero's journey, because I do think that like in traditional alchemy, I mean, you can turn pain into perseverance, very
Mm.
much so. And I do think that's the story I would want to tell about myself.
How you turned your pain into perseverance, your pain to passion, pain to pretty, however you want to put it. PP all the way. I feel that. I feel that.
Thank you.
So, I'm over here to spitballing. I feel like a rapper today, man. I've been listening to some new music. I discovered a brand new artist today. We're gonna go to podcast for 30 seconds. I discovered a new artist today. His name is Dean, and he's a K-pop like R&B artist. I discovered him today. Super
Oh,
cool. One of my new favorite artists at this point, as of 3 hours ago. So I thought that was kind of cool. Anyway, getting back to it.
I can't get with the K-pop.
You know what? I don't know. I ever since watching Demon Hunter, bro, K-pop Demon Hunter, I'm like, yo, this music kind of like, you know what I'm saying? Then I started listening to it more. I was just like, I think I could rock with this. You know what I'm saying? But so Tati, we gonna go ahead. We gonna move on back to you. Wait, did you answer? Jay? Okay. Yeah. So if the struggle no longer defines you with what you were talking about before about with the weight loss or feeling not feeling loved enough from yourself, if none of that existed anymore, what story about yourself would you want to tell instead to replace that?
okay. I feel like an anime character, if that makes sense. I don't know if y'all watch anime, but
I do.
some characters have a lot of character development, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that's
Hold on,
what
hold on. I'm sorry to cut you off. I got a question for you though.
me.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
So you say you feel like an anime character. Now,
Yes.
myself, I'm not big on anime, so I'm like kind of like just sticking like not the tip of my pinky toe into it.
Mhm.
And there's one thing that all anime seem to have in common that I seem to can't get over. So I just want to know, would you be this anime character, this type of anime character,
Okay.
the crybaby? Would you be the crybaby?
No. No.
Okay. Okay.
Not every anime.
I could tune into your anime then. I could rock with your anime. I can
See
rock
that-
with it.
and
I'll
I've been-
watch it. I'll watch
I'm not
it.
sensitive.
And I've been trying to tell Jay, man, like the crybaby ones for me be the best ones because it's so polarizing.
Ooh,
When they finally get to the like okay, for instance, Solo Leveling, for instance, he's a crybaby, and then he turns into Jin fucking Woo, and then
Paul,
and
he
then everybody.
was a crybaby.
You said what?
He was not a crybaby to me.
Of course, he ain't a crybaby to you. Of course,
He's not a crybaby.
because now he Jin fucking Woo. Of course, you ain't gonna remember where he started from. Look where he started from. That
Hear
nigga
me
was
out.
dying left and
Hear me
right.
out. Even though he went on those missions, right? He went in those caves, knowing he didn't have the skills and stuff, but he still got his ass up and went up with his group and was still stood by his group. That is not a crybaby. That is somebody ready to fight.
I
And the
wish I
left-
had. I wish I could pull up the scene on Riverside. I would pull up the scene where that man. I should have did this. And then, that was a cry baby. He was a cry baby. 100%. He was a crybaby, and that's okay. My whole point is that is okay because now he big fucking Jin Woo. That's my whole point, right? That's my whole point. The same thing with My Hero Academia. Okay, Zuko Midoriya on my freaking wall right there. Crybaby.
Yeah, that's a crybaby. That's a
Crybaby.
That's
Biggest
a
crybaby in the show. But now ain't nobody touched them. That's my whole point. But go back to what you were saying, Tati.
Why do I feel
But
like you're
basically, how you
something
said
about
it, the anime character that I would say I am. I already know you're gonna say he's a crybaby, but he's not a crybaby. Ken Kaneki, Tokyo Ghoul.
I haven't seen this. I don't know.
Oh my god.
I haven't seen it. Now I gotta add it to my list. I feel like you're gonna show me if I watch it.
Yes. We all go through our own journey, and we all gonna have struggles. And for me, I feel like my favorite quote is "No rain, no flowers."
That's good.
So how
That's
can
deep right
flowers
there.
grow without rain?
Right.
So that's what I'm saying. That's where my growth comes from. And that's why I say I'm a flower because I'm going to keep growing. And sometimes flower die when they don't get the sun, the water, and stuff that they need.
Mm-hmm. I
But
feel that.
the roots is always going to be there, and there's still room to grow.
Gotta have that room to grow.
Yeah.
It's the boy.
Shout out to you
Yeah.
because you just, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to let you know. I'm about to go ahead and tweet this, and it's going to be the tweet to get us out the hood. Yes, you will get your split. I'm not like that. I'm going to give you your share when we get out the hood because that's the one right there. No rain, no flower. Yes, sir. I'm going to tweet this and call my mom and let her know we made it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No tweet, no. Hey, for sure.
And I
for
got it
sure.
tatted on me.
Amen to that.
You got a lot of tats out there. I ain't gonna lie. You got a lot of tats.
I know you can't still know, but like, oh, I didn't mean to.
No. Luckily,
I don't
this
think
ain't
that's
this.
fine.
Luckily,
I think it's fine.
no, we good. We good. No, it's fine. It's fine. I'll be honest. I had the questions up. I can't even see what she did. I'll probably
Okay.
see. I'll see what I'm
Nothing.
editing tonight. So I'm glad we had this good conversation. Open this up. So now I got a challenge for everybody, right? So do you think, as a whole, as people, that we fear peace and stability because it feels unfamiliar from what we're struggling? And I'm talking about people who maybe grew up in a bad background or came up with it. We're talking about struggles today. So now, and we're talking about what happens after the struggle. Okay. So I know for me personally, I'm gonna start with myself actually. And I think I've talked to Jay about this. And I talked to Vibes, other stuff. I'm kind of scared, low key, of who I would become once I make it. right? I feel like the person I would become, I'm kind of afraid of. I'm no longer gonna be the stew people love because the shit, the stuff you got to go through to get to that stage. This is how I'm seeing it. I'm being very blunt, honest. Me, Jake can tell you, I've told him about this. The stuff you have to go through to get to that level that I'm trying to reach, to get that peace, to get that stability, is unfamiliar, and it's going to create a person that I don't really like that much. Okay, because it forces us to face who we really are and then get rid of it. So I'm asking y'all. Now I've said that. Do you think that we fear peace and stability because it's unfamiliar or because it forces us to face who we really are without excuses? And I'm gonna start that off with Jay since he already on bit screen. I forgot to take him off bit screen.
No, I don't fear peace and stability. I crave it. I yearn for it. I am one who loves my peace. So the little things that disturb my peace, I don't deal with. So the whole like arguments and going back and forth, I will set my boundaries, and if once they're crossed, then we'll have a conversation. Because I believe everybody is owed a conversation. Because with us being these big ages, you know what I'm saying, I figure like we can all, adult well because we're still here on this planet. So,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't fear it. Now, facing who I am, I'm tired. I'm tired of seeing this Jay. I'm tired of seeing this version of Jay. I'm tired of this man. And when I say I'm tired, I mean I'm sick and tired. This the same face, the same situations of being in, the same, the same. I don't want to call it a struggle. The same,
I mean,
the
that's the
same
point.
day to day. The same,
Yeah.
the same day to day. I'm tired of it, right?
Tired of this shit,
So
Grandpa.
no, dead ass. I'm tired of it. So facing myself it is scary, and knowing that change is coming. That's the scary part. Is the journey and the preparation of trying to figure out how to go about facing the person that you are right now. Because it's like we have an idea who we want to become, but everybody wants what they want until they get it.
Mm.
You know what
Say
I mean?
that. Say
So
that.
that is actually the actual scary part. The scary part is the unknown of who we're going to be because of the simple fact we don't know who we're going to be after the struggle is over. So I would say that's what I'm mainly scared about. I know my morals going to stay the same, and I'm also scared about who's going to be around me at the time because you have to cut people off, on this journey. So it's like the same people you're around today, they may not make the team when you actually get to that spot. So I believe those are the things that I'm scared of.
And me and AJ, me and you got the same thoughts, man, of when it comes to that struggle. Cause my biggest thing is, dang, what if Jay don't make it? What if Crypto don't make it to when I get to that level? Because like the quote I saw on Twitter, man, everyone want to be a lion until it's time to do lion shit. And so, yeah, and so I'm afraid I'm gonna do this lion shit. I'm gonna become the king. I'm gonna become Simba. But it's lonely at the top. How many times we heard that saying? It's lonely at the top. I ain't trying to be lonely.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to be by myself. You know what I'm saying? But not like for real. That's just I don't know. That's not so that's a fear that I have that kind of makes me crippled to go back to my old ways, which I'm trying to break. But crypto for you, same question to you. Same question to you. Like, do you ever fear peace and stability, or do you think that we fear peace and stability because it's unfamiliar or because it forces us to face who we really are without the excuses?
Um, I think it's a little bit of both, actually. I think anything that is unfamiliar is honestly, I think it comes into perspective because I heard a saying one time that I think actually is scientifically true, that fear and excitement give off the same dopamine. And
I saw that too, actually. I think I saw that too.
yeah, it is just how you pretty much view the emotion itself. And it is pretty much just why you're afraid of it, that to an extent it's like what you want. Like it makes you excited, you know, and it's a little bit of brain rewiring. And I think for that reason, like unfamiliarity is scary to people. Um, and I think it's just something that, like Jay said, I think everybody does really benefit from therapy. I think our people as Black people definitely benefit from therapy and talking. And I think that something you would find out about yourself is that one of the best things about life and one of the only things that is ever actually like true in this life is change. You know, things will always change, your situation will always change. And I think when people stop fearing that change is when they will open up doors for themselves.
For sure, for sure, and yeah, I'm gonna be honest, yeah, because I definitely have fear of change. I still do sometimes, because like I said, I think that my biggest fear is like, damn, Stu, when I do become a sexy motherfucker and lose these titties, am I gonna be a fuck nigga too? Like, because I'm being honest, that's a legit fear I have. You can ask Jay. I've asked him this multiple times. Like, that's a legit fear to have. Once I like actually get like the body, the money, and all that stuff, I'm like, then I have girls flying at me because that's what's gonna happen. You know, they fly to that type of person. Am I gonna be that type of person? Because there's part of me that kind of wants to do that because I've been shit on. I've had my heart broken, all that stuff. So it's like the downsides of struggle make me want to turn towards the bad side of success sometimes, which is like it's a double-sided coin. There's positives and negatives to each side, right? The positive side of struggle should only enhance the positive sides of success. Doesn't always happen that way. So it all depends. It all depends on that. Tati, we're going on to you. So do you think that do you think you fear peace and I'm gonna ask you just personally, do you think you fear peace and stability, or do you think this is more like if you do fear it, do you fear it because of you can't give yourself excuses anymore?
Okay, before I get into that, you better keep your titties and love your titties. Like, if you want the right woman to love you, do not change because you want. Oh, I feel I can get this woman, that woman. Be yourself. A woman will love you for yourself.
No, I'm gonna change that right now. I'm getting
Yeah.
healthy for myself, 100%.
Okay.
I'm just saying once I get there,
Uh-huh.
you know, cause I already know I'm gonna have flocks. I already know I'm gonna have flocks. You know,
Well,
I've always, matter of fact, Tati, you know, I've been telling you this since college. I've always had the best personality. I just haven't had the body to match the personality. I used to make that joke all the time in college. Y'all lucky God didn't give me a nice body, because if I did, none of y'all would have females. Like, Stu, Jay always get mad when I do.
Again, brother, again, for the millionth time. It is literally your confidence. If you go outside with that same black shirt on, with your chain, you know what I'm saying? Go ahead and go. We head to the barbershop. You know what I'm saying? Just go to the barbershop, right? And then leave the barbershop. And then go somewhere and sit down. I promise you, you will have you said it yourself at the North Carolina Twitch meet. Some lady some chick sat down and she was talking to you. And next thing you know, she buying you a drink.
Yeah, no, that was that.
So, nigga, it's about your confidence. It is your confidence. It is literally your confidence.
Yeah.
Where your confidence. Confidence is the sexiest thing anybody on this planet.
Yes,
I agree.
And again, somebody's gonna find somebody attractive. Literally. Mm-hmm. Go outside. I promise you.
Outside scary. No.
The thing is, you'll get turned down faster and easier online than if you were to go outside.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because they have to actually physically tell you, oh no, I'm cool. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of women, they tend to go ahead and give you that. They give you the opportunity first before they tell you no. Right? Regardless of what the reason is behind them giving you the opportunity to sit down and have a conversation with them. But within that conversation is what you make it. So if somehow, some way you go ahead and with your personality, you know what I'm saying, you big Stu. So you're going to make that person smile and giggle. And you know what they say? You can make them
You
smile
go,
and giggle. You can make
out
them
of these
cheeks.
bras.
You know what I'm saying? You can make them
Yeah.
cheeks jiggle. You feel me? So
Yeah,
again, it's literally confidence. That's all you need in this life is confidence. Again, your health, you do need your health. So yes, you saying that, you know what I'm saying, you're doing it for your health and to better yourself. That's great. But to keep saying, oh, if I had the body. No, bro. No, bro. No. It's your confidence, bro.
Yes. Okay, but back to the question. I'm sorry.
No, I thank you, Jay. Like I said, he's told me this multiple times, and I need to hear it multiple times because that is me deprogramming myself. So sometimes you got to hear it to help deprogram. Like, and that's just part of my struggle of having to. I don't want to cut you off, Tati. I'm gonna get to you in a second. But yeah, like I think that's something that's one of the things that I did growing up. That was kind of my defense mechanism. I started telling myself stuff before I heard it because I knew I was going to hear it. So I started telling myself stuff. So I got used to it. So it didn't hurt as bad when I heard it. And I think looking back on it, that was dumb as fuck because I was dumb as hell. Because yeah, now I'm beating them to the punch. I'm whooping my own ass, and that's not cool. It's not cool at all. So I'm working on stopping to do that 100%. As we all should stop doing stuff like that. We all got our own struggles, and that's my struggle that I'm working on every single day. Every single day. Now, Tati, once again, going back to you with this question, I'm asking one more time. Do you think that we fear peace and stability because it's unfamiliar, or because it forces us to face who we are without excuses?
Ooh. Change to me is scary. It was scary at first. I'm using this
Why is that
example.
so big?
I used to be in relationships like back to back to back. Never gave myself a break because I always wanted to be in a relationship. And it's like now I was like, okay, let me find out who I am without a person. Who is Tati? Who is me without having a partner that I'm carrying the load and nurturing and everything else. So I put that nurturing and love towards myself. And I found out, I'm that bitch. And
Period.
Bad beast.
Thank
You a
Oh
bad
God.
you.
bitch. Say it, girl. You bad.
and it's scary how I became and I grew. I'm a teacher now. I got promoted. So I was a teacher
Shout
assistant
out to
and
you.
then now I'm a
Congrats.
assistant
Congrats.
teacher. And now all these things happen to me. I'm glowing more. You see the curls popping. You see my hair.
I
But
see it.
everything is just changing for me. I'm smiling more. I'm in a better mood, like everything. And I'm doing it by myself. But the struggle that I had was I'm so used to being intimate with somebody and nurturing somebody, and I have a big heart and love. It's like, dang, I'm glowing and everything, but who can I give attention to? Who can I give more love to? Who can touch me and everything and stuff like that, right? And then that's where I probably took a step back and go to an ex that's still saying that he missed me and want me because I'm familiar with him instead of opening the idea of being with somebody else.
Mm.
So I had to think, do I really want to go back to that cycle again, that environment again? Because I already got to this point where I'm glowing up and I'm doing better things for myself. Do I really want to go back? So I had a couple of slip ups, but I learned from that. And I'm like, no, I'm just going to be by myself until, God shows me, like, oh, that's you right there, Tati. That's your person. But until then, I'm going to keep growing and accepting that peace and stability.
Mm. And that's good. Look, slip ups happen. I recently was having a lot of slip ups
Oh,
recently. I did. I was recently having, and Jay laughing because he know. Look,
When,
Jay,
so when are they no longer slip ups if they're constantly happening?
exactly. So
Yeah, I was
it's
having a lot of slip ups. Shit, I was slipping
yeah.
up 7 days out of 7 days in a week. Shit, it was real slippery. It was a slippery slope.
It's a slippery slope, man. But look, I'm no longer, I'm talking about more as a relationship going back to exes and stuff like that. But yeah, but even still, like accidents happen, but we need to make sure we can prevent those as much as possible. So
Mm-hmm.
with that being said, this last question I got, and then we're gonna open up the chat if anybody has any questions in the chat. Overall, the last question I have for you guys, and we're gonna start off with Jay. Hey Gina, how you doing? We're gonna start off with Jay. Where is the question at? Here it is. What does freedom from struggle look like to you, Jay? Not just on the outside, but on the inside as well. If you, what is freedom in your head? A perfect idea of what freedom looks like. Freedom from struggle looks like. What does it look like in your head?
Um, I would say it looks like shit, Tati, glowing, curls popping. You know what I'm saying? Free, constantly smiling. Ain't even worried about who here, who ain't gonna be here, who wants to be here. Just worried about myself, pouring into myself every day, and not every 2 weeks or whatever the case. Not every time I'm feeling down on myself, pouring into myself every day. It also looks like a bandit home because I'm never gonna be here. Probably be on the road traveling, just visiting friends from Twitch or a lot of all these cons on Twitch con, solo leveling con,
Solo
the con, whatever cons they got going
Dream Con, which if y'all ain't going to Dream Con, Big Stu Game gonna be at Dream Con. It's official. Make sure y'all get your tickets if you want to see me. Yeah,
on. www. Just leave. Just feeling free is what it looks like for me. As long as I feel free, then I'm free.
I love that. I actually do love that. Freedom is awesome. So crypto, 100%. Same thing with you. Freedom. What does it look like to you? Does it feel like, taste like, smell like, anything, whatever? What is it? What is freedom to you?
Freedom is something that I think is attainable for everybody. I don't think that freedom is the end goal. I think that freedom is the open door, I guess I should say. And from there, it's just about, I guess, I used to always tell myself, and I guess it's because as an Aquarius, they always say, Aquarius, they're just always pessimistic and they're like, but I used to like tell myself, like, you have to be content with if you lose your life tomorrow. Like if with what you're doing in life, with how you've maneuvered so far and everything you've accomplished, like, are you satisfied if your life ends for whatever reason tomorrow? And for a lot of the time, like, after everything is said and done with the risks I took for myself and the things I just kind of did when I threw caution to the wind, like, I started, I think maybe like 4 or 5 years ago, being able to tell myself like yes to that question. And I think that to me is freedom, is being content if things just hit the fan tomorrow,
And then that's deep. No, that's deep. I ain't never really think about it like that. Probably because I don't like to think about death. I don't like to think about death, so I try.
Yeah,
not
that's
to.
why I say it's a
But
like really pessimistic like way to think.
But no, that
So,
I wouldn't even call it pessimism. I just call it real. Like, no, that is real. What you're saying, like, you have to be. And I mean, I've said it before. I've said it personally. I wanted people to think about me, even if I've never been in their life again. If I've never in their life ever again, I want people to look back and say, my time with Stu was always a good one, always a good one. That man, he used to make me smile, laugh, or whatever. Anytime I was around Stu, I just felt better. That's how I want people to think of me, right? Because you got to think about it. There are a lot of times where I just not do what I wanted to do. Okay, there's a lot of times where I think we all got that one person to where if they never come around again, you'll be like, okay, I'm fine with that. Like, I'm cool with that. We all got that one person to where, like, if they were gone and we but so I think that I don't want to be that person for anybody. I want to be missed selfishly. Like, nigga, you gonna miss me You gonna miss me. I want to be missed. Like, selfishly, and I've been told this is a selfish ass mindset. I want to, if I'm gone from your life, you feel that shit. Now, I'm not saying you got. I'm not saying you in a depressed mood. I ain't saying you gotta be depressed, but I want you to at least have a thought. Damn, I wonder what Stu doing. Just a little bit. 30 seconds. All I ask. 30 seconds. If you got that, I'm cool. I'm cool. I ain't asking to take over your life. Just a little 30 seconds.
Mm.
I,
I
that's me.
felt that. I felt that because that's
It-
exactly why I am the way I am. I want to
Mhm.
imprint on everybody's life. So
Just a
where
little
I
30
go
seconds.
missing, I'm getting a hit up. Where you been at? Don't make me come find you. I love that. I love that. I love to be
No, because
loved.
it's true. I mean, to know that like everybody is living their own individual lives. And if you can just like, even with that 24 hours, if you can just be the person that they remember that day, like to be the best part of their day, like
Mm-hmm.
that's what I strive for is to just be the good part of a person's day.
For sure. So that's one reason why I love streaming. Ever since if anybody doesn't know my story, why I started streaming, of course during COVID, but because I was just depressed, and to be honest, I did not want to be alone, dark in my house, which is crazy because I wasn't alone. I had my mother and my brother in the house, but sometimes you are the loneliest when you have people around you. Crazy. And that was me at the time. So I pressed go live, and then my life is different ever since then. I think my very first fan or fan member, community member, was a guy by the name of Luke, who is now in college, but and he's from Puerto Rico, and he came to every single one of my streams, and
Hmm.
then every single one of my. If y'all are OG at Big Stu Gaming, you know who Luke is. He changed his name multiple times, but I think his most current one is Lukey Cupcake. And yeah, it started with Luke, then ended up becoming Jay and Sean. Now I got Jay, Sean, Cat, Vibes, Lady, Salty Dog, Coco, Keisha, and it just grew and grew and grew. And I think that's the best part of today's podcast is no matter what the struggle is, you can get through it and grow to be something beautiful no matter what it is. You just got to keep going and just keep living your life day by day and try to be positive day by day. Some days you're going to fail, some days you're going to pass. But as long as you keep going, it all will pass. That's simple as that. I just come up with a bar. Somebody put that on a shirt. Man, someone put that on the shirt. That was a bar right there.
Why don't
Anyway,
you put it on the shirt?
man,
Like,
you know what? I might put that on a shirt.
you-
I might put that on a shirt. I might actually do that. I need a t-shirt printer. I'm gonna put it on this shirt right here. Any questions from chat though? I got any questions from chat, man. Any questions? Gina, she said freedom on the inside is the ability to detach and redirect when necessary. Everything will work out in the end and that you have full authority of your life. You know,
Mm.
Tati, one thing I do miss about Livingstone is all them probates we went to, all them probates. And when the Sigmas would cross, or the AKAs, or the Alpha, every single pro man, they would take over their whole entire campus whenever they had a new line cross. And it was always a poem. I don't remember off the top of my head, but next show I'm gonna remember it, y'all. So remember, y'all, make sure y'all tune in next Sunday, and I'm gonna tell y'all. I'm gonna look it up this week. But they always said the same poem about I'm the captain of my fate, I'm the captain of my soul. And you are the captain of your own ship. We all have our own ship. We all got our own ship. We all got our own ship that deals with its own shit. And so you gotta just be the captain of it and be willing to push through it, man. Push through whatever it is, no matter, because after everything we talked about today, none of our four stories were exactly like the other person's. Crypto's was different from Jay's. Jay's different from mine. Mine's different from Tati's. But I think the one thing we can agree upon is that we all are moving. If we haven't already got past it, we're moving past it, and now we're glowing from it. So
Hey,
you know,
that's
Stu,
it.
remember Livingstone when they had the modeling group, right?
they had like three of them or four of them. Yeah.
You probably do not remember, but something you said to me really stick with me throughout life. You was like, "Who is that girl up there?" And that night, I was gonna quit. Like the modeling group and everything because of my weight. I was a really big girl. I didn't was I felt like nobody was paying attention to me. But you came up to me and you was like, you did that. So you probably don't remember, but you
I
said
do
something.
now. Actually, I do now. Actually, I do
You
remember.
do?
I do now. You was wearing all black. You was wearing. It was that one night. It was like all the model troops came together, and you was like wearing all black. I'm pretty sure. I don't know if you was wearing latex or not, but you was wearing something. I remember it's just all black. Whatever you had on was all black. I remember that. Yep, I do remember that now. Yep.
Yes.
I be Stu, man. What a great guy.
Hey, I tried,
To
man.
everybody but himself.
And you know what? That is what I'm changing. That is what I'm changing. I'm tired of being a great Stu to everybody except for Stu. So Stu need love too. And so that's why I started the podcast. This podcast is kind of like my own personal therapy. And if y'all haven't realized, the episodes I've chosen are not just because I deal with the shit, but I feel like a lot of people deal with the same stuff. And I feel like, especially in the black community, we all go through stuff, and a lot of black people just don't go to therapy, but they want to talk to their homeboys about it and their homegirls about it, So why not just talk about it and let's make a podcast and put it out there and there. Who knows? We might save somebody. What you've said today, Tati, may help some random person on YouTube who watching this, and now they gonna hit me up asking for your information to tell you thank you. Just tell me you told me thank you. So at the end of the day, I want everybody to share their own light because you never know who that light gonna save. And I'm glad that I was able to be your light, Tati, during that time because here's the thing: you got to put a smiling face on. Because even though I might have been your light, I'm gonna be honest. Mentally, I was fucked up in the head. I'm gonna be honest. But I made sure that anytime I went out there into the world, I put on a smiling face because I never, because I'm not selfish. I never want what I'm going through to be put on somebody else. And so I put on a smiling face. So you got to do that. So, and I want to thank everybody, hostile and friends. Hey, Angela. I want to thank everybody for coming into another episode of the Cooldown Den. It was a banger episode talking about struggles and what we all deal with struggles. So, Crypto, thanks for coming on. Jay, thanks for coming on again. You was on the first episode. Now you're on the fourth episode. Tati, thank you so much for coming on. If you guys ever want to come back, let me know. Let me know.
Thanks for having me, Stu.
Of course. Of course. Next week, chat. Next week. Let me pull up the schedule here. Let's find the schedule. We go, what I'm saying? Hold on. I gotta organize my computer. Somebody can help me just walk through and organize my damn computer. Because okay, here it is. All right, so next week we are talking about the come up ain't pretty, but it's worth it. So it's kind of like going back to this, right? The come up ain't pretty, but it's worth it. So that's what we're talking about. What are some things that you might have had to do that you ain't want to do to get to where you are now, to be a better person than you are now, right? So we're gonna talk about the come up, some things that that you might have had to do. So if y'all make sure y'all tune in for that next week, same time, same place. You're not going to miss it, all right? And if you do miss it, I'm gonna punch you in the face. Period.
And if you cancel it, I'm gonna headbutt you.
Simple, but it's not gonna get canceled. It's not gonna cancel. If anybody would like to be on, if anybody wants to be on the show, let me know. Hit me a DM, and I will gladly put you guys on the show. I love having different guests on here. If you guys were a past guest, love having you on here again. So, with that being said, thank you guys so much for being on the Cooldown Den. I'll catch y'all next time. I'm gonna send y'all over to my homegirl Atlanta, and yeah, it's Stu. It's been awesome. I love y'all. Peace out.
Peace.
All right, now I'm about to raid Atlanta. I should have had this pre-typed, but it was such a good convo that I forgot to do that. So,
okay, bye guys.
Bye. Thank you, Crypto.
Bye.
You go back and get your sleep and stuff.
I know. I'm gonna go sleep. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Oh man, that man Jay just left. He always leaving. So let me make sure I hit raid. Did I hit raid? Okay, I raided. Okay, I raided Atlanta. Tox, thanks for coming on to the show.
Yes, thanks for having me. I was really nervous.